Hey there, please ignore all the stuff behind me. My office is a mess right now. But I wanted to quickly film an important video because I need to address a question that I get very often. But one of the reasons I really wanted to put it in a video instead of just an Instagram post, which I'm sure I'll do at some point, is because my stance on this has greatly changed. So if you are somebody who has followed me or been reading Sense and Purpose or watching my YouTube videos for years now, first of all, thank you for the support. You're amazing. And second of all, it's likely you've heard me talk about this specific topic multiple times over the past few years, but here's the thing. The pandemic changed everything, right? The pandemic just rocked our world, literally our world, in so many ways. I mean, it has affected our lives in countless ways. And one of the biggest ways is money. And throughout this, year of basically sitting at home, working on this business, talking to people and learning about them and their finances, one of the things I really had to sit down and give a lot of thought to is the order, because the order matters. The order that we do things makes a difference. Now, I absolutely support you doing things your way in a manner that works best for you, in a manner that feels most aligned with you and your values and your goals and your priorities in your life. However, I also believe that the order matters, right? So the order in which we do things when it comes to our finances can really impact our bottom line in a couple different ways. It can greatly increase or decrease the amount of time it takes us to reach a specific financial goal. It can affect the amount of money that we're spending or making over a specific amount of time. And so I think it is important to really take a look at the order in which we do things when we are working towards specific financial goals, especially when your financial goal, when your end game and your big picture is financial freedom, right? At some point in our lives, some state of financial freedom would be pretty much the end game for all of us, because none of us, at least nobody I've ever met, really wants to have to be working a full-time job when they're 75, 80 years old. We want to make good financial choices now that will support our future selves, so that when we are getting up there in age, we're able to just take a step back and really enjoy the fruits of our labor and really enjoy all of the hard work that we've done our entire lives. So I just want to quickly review my recommended order. And again, if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. You can do things however you want. I do believe I at least owe it to you to explain my position. And if my husband and I were to be starting our journey now today, and I knew what I know now, what I didn't know when we were in debt, but what I now know, this is how we would do things. So the first thing above all else is we would work to save an emergency fund, not a starter emergency fund of $1,000, which is what we did when we began our debt-free journey, because we were following Dave Ramsey pretty strictly, pretty closely at the time. We only saved $1,000, okay? That was a starter emergency fund. Then we jumped right into paying off all of our debt. Now, if we were to do it over again, and what I would suggest to you to at least consider would be to prioritize saving at least 3 full months of an emergency fund. So 3 full months of expenses. Now that can either be expenses in the manner of which you're accustomed to living, or it can be more of a stripped down, bare bones version of how much money you need to live for a full month. So then of course you would want to multiply that by 3, and I would focus on saving that amount of money. That means all of your extra money, all of your focus you would put towards building that emergency fund of at least 3 months of expenses, okay? That would be step number 1. So after you completed step number 1, if you are in debt, I would take a look at your debt and I would prioritize any high interest debt. Now here's the caveat to that. There isn't necessarily any specific interest rate that makes a debt qualify for high interest or makes it qualify for low interest. I would say look at anything that you are having a hard time gaining momentum paying off. So for example, if you have a credit card that's 15% and upwards, and every month you're only able to make the minimum payment, and you notice that you're really never making any headway on paying that off, because that's kind of how credit cards are designed, right? That if we're only paying the minimum payment, it's going to take us like years to pay it off, and we don't want that. We want to blow through this debt as quickly as possible so we can move on and put all of our spending power, all of our income power, all of our financial focus on our other goals, right? So again, you want to really focus on any high interest debt, and I would prioritize paying that off as quickly as possible. After you go through your high interest debt, then I would absolutely go back to your employer, if you are employed, and look and make sure that you're contributing as much as you need to your employee sponsored retirement account. So that would be like a 401k, a 403b, a pension, whatever your employer may offer you. I want to see you at least get their match, because that means you're putting in a specific amount of money and then they are matching that amount of money. So you're literally receiving free money for retirement. So if you are still in debt, this isn't necessarily a time I would recommend investing full force, but I don't want to see you leaving free money on the table. So for example, if you have to contribute 3% at your job to get 3% for free from your employer, then after you pay off that high interest debt, I'd love to see you go to HR, get your retirement contribution set up, and contribute only that 3%, okay? Then your employer will go ahead and match it, and now you're putting in 6% every single paycheck towards your retirement. And if you have other debts, what you don't want to do at this point is start contributing more than that. Just do the 3%, 5%, 6%, whatever it is you have to do to get your company match. And then you want to head back over and take another look at your debt. And now you want to choose a debt payoff plan. And you really want to sit down with your spouse or significant other or an accountability partner and really determine which debt payoff method would be best for you. And then you want to get that set up, get started. And again, that is your focus. Put everything you have into paying off the remainder of your debt and becoming debt free, except for a mortgage if you have one. At that time, once you are debt free, then I suggest you come back and you take a look at saving more money in your emergency fund, at saving for other goals that you may have in the future, and really starting to bulk up your retirement. So now would be the time that you can go back and you can increase your contributions to your employer-sponsored retirement plan. Now would also be the time that you would want to look into setting up an IRA or a Roth IRA on your own and working towards being able to max that out every single year. And that is when you're really going to see some major momentum building with your finances. Now you're debt-free except for your mortgage. Now you're starting to put money away and really grow your wealth and start working towards financial freedom. Hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. And I also just want to let you know we cover this in more detail in my course, Makeover Her Money. I'll go ahead and link that down below. You can check it out, and hopefully you'll join me over there and we can really get more detailed and more nuanced with this. Hope to see you in there.